Welcome back, guys, to the number one podcast of the number one show in the entire world. I am your host, CHAD Chaz.
And I am, depending on how I feel, either RONNY or RONNIE, Ronny. Welcome back, guys.
And this is an Attack on Titan podcast.
Heck yeah, it is. Chadley, my boy. How are we feeling this weekend?
I am feeling terrific. I'm sounding better.
I think this is the first time that you've gotten perhaps more than 10 hours of sleep in a weekend.
I feel great, man. I've had a great weekend of slumber, a great weekend of rest.
So what do you think that'll mean for the podcast?
I think it's going to be one of our best ones yet.
You think it's going to be one of our best ones yet?
Yeah, I mean, I always think it's going to be our best one. I've never thought we've had a bad episode, but...
All right, well, let's just get right into it.
All right.
And by get right into it, I mean, let's not just talk about the episode quite yet. Let's make the people want it a little bit.
Okay.
You promised me and the listeners last episode that you had a little story to tell.
I do. I guess I will. I'll make it quick so we can get right into the episode.
We'll make it quick, and if you're not interested in Chaz's bullshit, which, I mean, why would you be? You can just fast forward a little bit, and we'll talk about this new episode. But he did promise it, and if there's anything I'm going to make him be, it's a man of his word.
And I will deliver. So, last weekend, as we all know...
This is like learn a little something about Chad at the beginning of the episode.
It is. So, and basically what we do during that is we learn a little something about Chad.
So strap it on, ladies and gents.
So last weekend, as we all know, if you listen to the last episode, I was a little stuffy.
Little?
I was doing great, but I had a wedding that I was a part of.
You sounded like you were speaking out of your nose. That's how terrible it sounded.
Okay, it did sound a little bad. I went back and listened. It didn't sound the greatest, but we had a few listeners say that it was kind of very sexy. So, and it was a bunch of chicks that said that, no dudes.
Wow.
But even if they did, I mean, I'm all for it. But still, last weekend, the wedding. So I got very belligerent, and that is why I sounded like that.
Right.
It attributed to the cause. Mm-hmm. And basically, the night before the wedding, I was with the soon-to-be groom, and we were stopping by Kroger before
Wedding Eve,
sorry. And we were going to pick up a bunch of drinks and, drink it up the night before.
Water, milk.
Well, not water or milk because we're men, Ronny. And we all know you only drink water and milk, and it's a little weird.
Well, you might have just outed me, but that is true.
Well, yeah. I guess they all know now.
Yeah.
Even though it looks like you drink a lot more than that. So, my buddy, I guess we'll call him Kyle for this.
Yep, Sebastian,
okay. My buddy Sebastian. We stop and get a giant Smirnoff Ice. And for those of you that don't know, there's a thing called icing someone. And that is when...
It's like, I've seen it on Cake Boss. They do some great work.
Yeah, well, we know you've seen a lot of Cake Boss, but no, this is a different type of ice. Basically, icing is when you trick someone into seeing a Smirnoff Ice, and if they see it by surprise, they have to chug the entire bottle.
Wow, sounds incredibly lame.
So I grabbed the biggest one you could get. It was gigantic, and it was the orange screwdriver one, so it's probably about 5 cups of sugar in it. I place it, so I tell him that I'm giving it to one of the other groomsmen, and he's like, oh, dude, that's an awesome idea. So we get to the Airbnb. We're all chilling, having a good time.
He actually said, hey, Chad, we're not in high school anymore, right?
He did, and I was like, well, you know what? We're bringing back old times, buddy. So I put it under the table, and I said, hey, Sebastian, can you move your shoes for me, please? I don't have any foot room. And he looks under the table, and there's a gigantic Smirnoff Ice. So
got it.
Got him good. He chugged 3/4 of it, which I was surprised by. It was so big. But he got 3/4 of the way done, and he's like, I fucking hate you, bro. If I am hungover from my wedding, I'm going to be pissed. And I was like, dude, you'll be fine. Just keep drinking. So, next day comes, we're all hungover, so, he's a little mad at me, whatever.
Failed.
We're drinking a bunch of water, getting our haircuts, we're doing guy stuff, we're messing around, we all slept in the same room, same bed, and we get to the wedding.
Guy stuff, haircuts together.
It's a beautiful wedding.
Trimming up beards.
Congratulations to Sebastian, beautiful wedding. We go through the whole thing, the whole night, he gets married. We're having our little dance. We're doing all that bullshit.
You and Sebastian are dancing?
No, I'll talk about dancing later.
Isn't that supposed to be the groom and the bride, not the groom and Chad?
Well, they have their dance, okay? And then he goes to the son and mother dance. And
Right.
all the groomsmen and bridesmaids.
Which is with who?
Which is with himself and his mother.
Okay, so you're still not dancing at this point.
No, not yet. It's coming up, Ronnie.
Well, you said we have our little dance, so I didn't.
I've got some moves, buddy. And so basically he's doing his little dance with his mom. We're all in tears almost because we're like, damn, my little buddy of 10 years is getting married and he's going to move on with his life and not talk to me ever. And I still don't have a girlfriend, and my mom, my dad are not proud of me because I'll probably never have a future. And
Right.
a lot of thoughts are going through our heads.
Hey, you've got a very below average podcast on the come up, though, so.
That is true.
Of course, after this story, I can't imagine how many people are clicking
The
off.
story's lasting a little long.
So
but,
probably not for long.
But anyways, he gets done dancing with his mom, and he's coming back to the table with all the grooms and bridesmaids, and I'm looking at my buddy to the left, and I just hear a clank on the table, and I turn over, and he pulls out a Smirnoff Ice that he had in his jacket pocket the entire wedding night.
Wow.
Waiting for this moment in front of everyone to me. The most badass Smirnoff Ice I've ever seen in my life. So obviously I twist off the cap while everything's going on and just chug that bitch in front of everybody.
Made the wedding about you.
I did.
Sounds
I
like
made it about me.
Wow, that sounds like a great friendship moment. Doesn't make me jealous at all. Can we talk about Attack on Titan now?
Let's talk about Attack on Titan now. But anyway, moral of the story, guys, you'll never have a Smirnoff Ice as badass as that. So, Deceiver.
So whoever's still here, Deceiver.
Whoever is still listening to this shitty-ass podcast, here we go. Deceiver, episode 70, Gabby and Falco.
Yep, season 4, episode 11. What did you think?
I thought it was definitely one of the most, out of season 4, it's probably on the lower end, as in like information-wise and stuff. But at the same time, it sums up the entire story perfectly. And it's just Isayama-san. This is not for the casual fan of Attack on Titan. This is for the people that enjoy the show and how sometimes the writing just comes back full circle, and it's just fucking amazing.
Yeah, I think some people who aren't as into the characters might not like this episode too much, because even I, coming into this episode, I thought they might pick up the pace a little bit. They did not, but I still liked it. I thought it was a good episode. It was fun seeing the way they tied back to some old minor characters. We'll get to that. I thought it was a great episode for Falco. Poor Gabby, we'll get to her. But
that's one of his strengths of this show, is how he just ties in minor characters and has like later importance for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we start off with Gabby in the jail cell, and I thought she was pregnant in this moment. I'm going to be honest, I thought she was pregnant.
Hey, well, I didn't, because that would be weird.
Well, not really, because Falco's got a crush on her, and she is losing her shit in this bed. Like, she is about to just birth out a child.
Well,
did that not ring any?
No. Did that ring any bell? Well, you know what, Chad? I've never been pregnant in a jail cell, so no, it didn't ring any bells to me.
Well, you look pregnant. But yeah, she was losing her shit. Falco, he's like, my girl's pregnant. I think he said that to the guard. The guard comes rushing in, and Gabby's pulling one of her tricks again, man. This girl is a savage. She has a brick in, what is it, like a sock?
Like a pillowcase.
Yeah. Brick in a pillowcase, which, why would you give her a pillowcase? And just beats the dog shit out of this prison guard.
Yeah, I don't think she was going to hit him until he called her Missy. Don't call a girl Missy.
Well, I mean, you can if that's her name, but that's not her name.
I mean, if it's, first of all, what a weird name. Second of all, the only time you can be like, oh, what are you up to, little Missy? That's what you can do. Okay. And usually it's like what I say to my dog. It's not...
Yeah, you don't say it to a 12-year-old soldier, trained soldier.
Yeah.
Trained warrior, I guess.
Just seems a little degrading. Don't call him Missy.
Yeah, she pulls out her inner Eren, Season 1 Eren, and just beats him to death. This just reminded me of 9-year-old Eren and Mikasa. It's just brutal, dude. This show sometimes, like, watching a child beat a grown man to death with a brick is actually pretty damn brutal, but this show just treats it as it's just like another day of Attack on Titan.
Falco's just like, wait, that's overkill, and then moving on.
Yeah, and then they just move on like it was nothing. But her and Falco, they escape from prison, and they're running off. You know, and Falco's asking how any of this is actually going to help their cause. And he says that guy was actually worried about you, and Gabby says you cannot trust these devils, Zeke, or anyone anymore. So, I guess...
So we know where her mindset's at.
Yeah.
And Falco's like, what did I do? You can't trust me?
Yeah. Which I'm with Falco right here. Like, I get you're trying to escape. You might eventually die, but in the end of things, like, you're kind of not help. If you get caught, like, you're definitely dead now. Like, they had the possibility of surviving.
At this point, yeah. I mean, Falco's probably thinking, like, he's probably slowed down and thought, okay, think about what we did. We got onto their Zeppelin. We killed one of their comrades. We took a pretty bad beating from that handsome lad with the red swoop and his gang. But other than that, like, we went to our prison cell. They've been feeding us. We had pillowcases.
Yeah. He's like, they were nice enough to give us pillowcases, and you just beat the fuck out of them with it. But I always like a good, what's it called scene? Like a brutal scene where somebody just keeps beating the shit out of somebody.
Yeah, I know you're...
I always like that type of stuff.
You're pretty dark in the head, and I know you like that sort of thing.
Like when Aaron was smashing Porco's face in the ground repeatedly. I kind of like that.
I know you do. Freak.
So we go to Reiner where he wakes up, and it's very similar to episode 2 of this season. Where he wakes up.
I had to pause it. I wasn't sure if I was looking at Reiner Braun or Snow White, the way he was laying so poetically.
He does. He sleeps. He's a good sleeper. I did notice.
I don't think this is not proper sleeping for him. This is not how you're supposed to sleep. He's gonna kill his back.
No, dude, he's fine. He's a Titan. He can just regen it, dude.
He can't regen his broken soul.
You're right about that one. But Porco and Peak are just staring at him, and you know he's working with a pretty nice bod here. It's nothing like Aaron's.
Yeah.
But he's got some nice abs. I mean, nothing like Aaron's, like I said. Nobody's just like Aaron's.
No, yeah, this is a nice body. It's just...
He's got some broad shoulders.
Right.
But it's not anything like Aaron.
He's got the kind of... He's working hard in the gym, but he's not only eating, dried chicken and... Rice. Like, yeah, he's got a little bit more going on in the diet, and it's for like a nice bulk muscle.
Yeah, he has a couple cheat days. He's not one of these guys that never has any cheat days. Like, and I respect that, because who wants to eat like that their whole life?
For this body, his lifestyle is way more healthy than Aaron's.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Because Aaron, the way his body looks, like, I mean, yeah, he's hot as hell, but he is extremely dehydrated. Like, he's got no water weight on him. He's just shredded.
He has a little water weight on him. I think he found the creatine source in Marley, though, and that's where...
The only water weight on him is his hair that's dripping wet, because he's like acting like he's getting some water in his mouth, but he's really just putting it all over his shredded body. And
I am dripping wet from you talking about him. But Porco asks if he's having nightmares, and then says that... Porco then says, I wish this was a dream. So... Porco's not having too fun either. What I don't get about this, though, is how Porco seemed like he got more of an ass beating than Reiner, but Reiner was still conked out longer. I guess because his mindset's so fucked up right now.
That's true. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I would say it's probably just like emotional trauma for Reiner.
God, poor Reiner, dude.
How about a thank you, Porco?
Yeah,
you said that when we were watching.
I did. Porco should definitely thank Reiner. I think Reiner just needs a big old hug. From not even Porco, just anyone. Someone,
just please. Anyone willing to give one.
For the love of God, someone hug this man. Reiner says, though, that the last thing he remembers is Gabby and Falco's voice, and asks where they are. And that just made me sad, because the only thing that's helping him to keep moving forward are these children.
Heard their voices, huh?
Reiner! That was such a good scene.
He was like, and it was annoying as fuck.
He's like, why won't they just let me sleep?
They were extremely loud.
But yeah, that was just like the in episode like 10 of season 1, I think, or sometime back then when Armin is yelling at Aaron inside the Titan, and Aaron's just like taking a good old nap. It's like he's back in his old house. He's like, "What is Armin talking about? I'm just sleeping." But yeah, then we go straight into the OP, banger as always, and we go back to Falco and Crazy Pants, Gabby. They're at like a beautiful pond area.
Yeah, beautiful setup here.
Yeah, just gorgeous. And Falco says that, they're pretty far off because they ran throughout the entire night.
All right, so let's break. This is what you come to the Podcast Chronicles for.
Yep.
Most people would skip over this. They ran all night.
He said pretty much all night.
So,
I'm sure they took its
when they left, the sun was setting.
Yep.
So I'm guessing like a 7 o'clock-ish ordeal. All right. And then this next morning, like the sun is already up. So I'm thinking, once again, 7:30, 8.
Yeah, and we'll, obviously not a 12-hour straight run. He said pretty much all night. So I'm assuming they ran far, took a little breather.
So I give you 11 to 12 hours. How far is Chaz making it?
11 to 12 hours, dude. I'm making it. We're in Georgia right now. If the sea had land, I would be all the way in Japan right now under a cherry blossom tree.
Just 12, 13 hours. That's where you're at?
Yeah.
Well, I'll put, some actual numbers on it since I'm not fake like you. I'm taking this seriously. I'll say maybe 2 miles.
Ronny,
maybe 3 if I saw a Krispy Kreme hot light on in the distance.
3 miles in 12 hours? Okay. That sounds pretty...
If I see the Krispy Kreme hot light. Other than that, probably just 2. Don't forget about that part because I'm not trying to overshoot here. I want to give a real answer.
Well, you know what? I like that you're real on this podcast. So I'll change my answer. 11 to 12 hours. I'll say a solid 15 miles.
Wow.
No, 20. I'll go full marathon.
Okay.
Full marathon. Because I'm going to take some breathers. I'm not psycho like Gabby and Falco. I'm going to take a little breathers, but I'm going a full marathon.
Great.
So Falco tells Gabby to take off her stupid armband, that we aren't cattle raised by Marley, you dumb bitch. Okay, no, he doesn't say that.
Wow, Falco got intense there.
He's definitely thinking that. That would have been the first thing I did, by the way, if I was a Marley and Eldian, was take off my armband as soon as I'm out of there.
Falco, we didn't even see his, so...
Yeah. But yeah, he's like, what? And then she said... Falco said, why would you even still have that on? We're just going to stand out with that. And she says, no one's going to see it, especially if they're not a soldier. Only soldiers would know about it.
Yeah, someone needs to tell Gabby, hey, it's not a football game where you're going as a fan of the visiting team and, maybe you get booed or a drunk guy punches you. This armband could potentially mean life or death, you moron. Yeah. Take it off.
So yeah, Falco treats...
Not to mention, yellow is so not her color.
It's not, dude.
It's not her color.
She's more of a red type girl.
She's more fall colors, I would say.
Yeah, she needs that red on her. She needs one of those Titans, and she needs to only live 13 years because this bitch is annoying. But Falco keeps trying to talk sense into her, and she's just as brainwashed as it gets, Ronnie. What do you think about that? Is this bitch the most brainwashed chick in this entire show?
Falco says everything I need to say. He just says, Gabby, you're acting like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Hey, but she just wants answers from Zeke before they both get killed, which I'm with her on that.
After such a bold move of getting on that Zeppelin, you would have thought that she would have had some point where she was like, wow, this was actually pretty fucking stupid. I shouldn't have done this. I just basically killed myself. But she doesn't ever have that. She's just 100% in the whole time, and Falco doesn't know how to react.
She's like a suicidal maniac that just charges in not thinking about others. Kind of reminds me of somebody else from the early days. But she tells Falco to not follow her and just do whatever the hell he wants. And he then reaches and grabs her stupid freaking armband and says, okay, I will do what I want.
Yeah. Which ripped off way easier than I was expecting.
Yeah, it was like a shitty Velcro.
Yeah, I thought these were like legit armbands, but no, these things...
Shows you how much they really care about the Eldians. They give them shitty Velcro.
What a pain to try and keep this thing on all the time.
Yeah. But that's when she throws him. She grabs his shirt, throws him to the ground, and gets on top of him.
Whoa.
And Falco's thinking, mission accomplished.
He said, one way or another.
I knew this would work. But she yells at him to give it back. And she says a good Eldian, that she's a good Eldian. And without that, she's just the same as these island devils.
Not only that, she screams.
Screaming.
That. Like, hey, Gabby, I know we're outside, but let's practice our inside voices. Or even if you don't want to do that, maybe just a normal outside voice would be fine. Quit screaming when you're on the run.
She is pretty terrifying.
Idiot.
Falco calls her crazy again, and she just says for him to leave her alone.
Now listen, we've got some flack over this over the past couple months. I don't want to be too bold, but I will say this. Gabby is displaying some actions that you would also find in that of a cunt. Okay?
Yeah.
Can we all agree? I'm not saying that she is one.
Yeah, we're not saying she is.
All I'm saying is she's done about 12 things so far this episode, and 11 and a half of them, other than when she got on top of Falco kind of seductively, were pretty cunt-like.
I agree. But we're not saying she's a cunt.
No.
We're just saying she's...
Did you hear me say that?
No, I didn't.
All right.
I'm just saying she's displaying actions of thy cunt.
Yes.
And then that's when she has tears in her eyes and says, why did you have to come here, Falco? You didn't have to die too. And then that's when I kind of was like, okay, that's not...
That's why I made my point right there, because when she said that, it was kind of 11 and a half out of 13 things she's done so far. So that was kind of sweet.
Oh, dude, she is just such like little baby Aaron being.
Might be worse than Aaron.
I don't know, man.
She might be.
She might be. Aaron used
recency
to suck,
bias. Man. I will, call myself out for that. But
I would just call it sexist bias.
What?
Is what I would call it.
Oh, is that what you would call it?
I think just because she's a girl, you are saying she's worse than Aaron, and I don't like that.
Mr. Yelling at people that Hanji's a female when she can be whatever she wants to be.
No, I said I would let her do whatever she wants to me if she was a guy or a girl. I just imagine her as a girl, and I would imagine her as a girl even if she was doing me.
Moving on.
Just then, the little girl that Sasha saved, which...
Wow, not burying the lead at all, are you? Just jumping right into it.
I'm jumping in, bro. It was so obvious. We're not going to say her name. That comes a little later.
So obvious.
She pokes her head out of the woods and asks them where they came from.
All right, hey, no BS. When I first saw this little chick... Well, don't call her a little chick.
You thought she was Zofia.
No, I thought... I did kind of notice that. I thought she was some sort of woodland fairy.
That would have been pretty cool.
Like something about the way she looked.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Is there fairies in Attack on Titan now? Just like her whole get-up or whatever? I hadn't seen anything like an Attack on Titan before.
You're kind of right now that you say. I kind of would have enjoyed that. A little fairy scene.
Yeah, I thought she was getting ready to flutter into the scene. And
Gabby says, though, that they hated their home and ran away as she slowly grabs a rock from behind her. This bitch is crazy.
She's like, we ran away from it all. But then did you notice she was saying that in like a happy-go-lucky... She's like, yeah, we ran away from it all. We just had to get out of there. And as she's grabbing a rock, which I imagine Tinkerbell over here can see, she goes, and we can't go back.
Pulls out the Batman voice.
And she's like, okay, you guys hungry?
But no, Gabby, this, like, the whole scene with the guard in the prison and then this right here, she displays just a phenomenal actor. She's been focusing on acting. I mean, it's...
Well, she doesn't really finish the drill. She starts off with great acting, then she goes, and we can't go back.
Dude, I'm telling you,
I'll murder you. It's like, whoa. Fuck.
That prison scene was terrifying, bro. I really thought a baby was going to pop out of her. That was...
What are you doing with that?
I did not... That's like a pregnant lady without morphine.
Moving on.
Okay.
How many pregnant women have you seen without morphine? What, you just hanging out in delivery rooms, Chaz?
My mom birthed my sister without morphine, and that is why she's stupid now.
You were 3 years old. You weren't even there.
I was there. I can remember. I've got a good memory, dude.
You were at your own doctor's appointment on the other side of the hospital. Idiot.
Anyways, the girl asks if they are hungry and that she lives nearby and that they should just follow her. And this is just such a good moment, dude. This really just brings tears to my heart. Whenever children are helping other children out,
Brings tears to your heart.
Yeah, you never cried from your heart.
What a stupid sentence.
You're calling that stupid?
Yeah, trying to be all emotional. Just really brings tears to my heart.
Yeah, you've never had flutters in your heart where you just feel like your heart's crying? Are you not an emotional guy, Ronnie?
I've had my heartstrings pulled.
Well, that's okay. That's a little lame. I'm just saying, man. I've got like to all the chicks listening. I'm a pretty emotional guy. And people have said, man,
Well, if you're a girl that's actually interested in this buffoon across from me, you better grab some Kleenex because his heart's crying.
I would just like a warm hug around my heart. Just a little blanket around it. But they follow her to a ranch with horses. And this is a beautiful ranch. If I was in Attack on Titan, this is where I would want to be.
Absolutely.
And
couldn't agree more.
While they wait for the girl to...
Well, not only while they wait, she tells them to wait like 50 yards away from the front door, which I thought was a bit excessive.
Well, you know why.
I know, but like she couldn't... They weren't going to hear you if you had like a inside voice conversation and they were off the front porch steps. She's like, "You guys wait there. I'll be right back."
Well, I'm just saying, this Kaya girl, I just spilled the beans on her name. She's a little more aware of things than we think.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes inside to get Sasha's dad. I'm just going to come out and say it. Sasha's dad. This is his freaking ranch.
Dun, dun, dun.
Browse's... Whoa. How do you say it? Browse?
Right? Yeah,
Browse?
I believe that's correct.
So yeah, she goes to get Sasha's dad, and while she's inside, Gabby is already planning to just bareback one of these horses and ride off. And Falco's like, "You don't even know how to ride a horse." This is our second time ever seeing a horse. But she says she's not going to share a meal with these devils.
Now listen, I know this is like a big thing in some cultures or, shows where you don't share meals with people you don't respect or trust. I do not subscribe to that. I'll eat with anyone.
Okay, yeah, that's a good take, Ronnie. I've never seen you eat with anyone. You're always eating alone, and
well, I mean, I'm not saying most of my meals are consumed between midnight and 6 a.m. while laying in my bed, but if someone's offering me something,
free food,
I don't really care what you've done, who you are.
If it's free,
we don't really have to talk, but I'll eat there with you. It's not a problem.
Okay. So Kaya comes back out and tells them to come inside for a nice warm meal, and Falco tells Gabby to shut the hell up and come inside. He will do the talking. Which, he should have said that a long time ago.
Seriously.
I mean, this girl is cray-cray. Reminds me of a lot of my exes. Well, not that she's not being like a 12-year-old, just...
How many is a lot when you only have two?
You didn't have to say that in front of the whole podcast.
It's just, a lot is a subjective term, so I just wanted to define what a lot was to you, and apparently in this case, it's two. Two
is more than zero, so... Zero as in none. Fred says... Well, I don't know if this guy's name's Fred, but... I did call him Fred a couple episodes ago, so we're going to roll
We know that you've got the book on this guy, so...
Fred, a lovely gentleman that had a terrific episode 2 episodes ago, says that...
Who's really into free food, if you remember correctly.
My goodness. Fred, yeah, he greets them. And as he greets them, he then says, "Are y'all a couple of youngins that have ran away? And who might you be?" In his little country accent.
Yeah.
And then that's when Falco realizes that they have a Southern Marleyan accent, which is pretty cool because he doesn't mention a Southern Eldian accent from Marley, but an actual Marleyan accent. And then Falco greets them as siblings, Ben and Mia. And he says they ran away from home and they'll do whatever work that they need as they take a bow. And he forces Gabby to bow too. And then that's when Fred says, "You ain't got to bow, youngins," and asks them to eat breakfast and stay as long as you like.
I like how this guy Fred's getting more and more country as you go. You're getting more confident with your accent.
Well, I am born and raised in the South, brother. So we have a beautiful breakfast from Fred's wife.
By beautiful, terrible fucking breakfast.
You don't think this is a beautiful breakfast?
Here's breakfast. They put a bowl out filled with beans, carrots, some nondescriptive green vegetable. These people live on a farm. No eggs. I mean, the island is world renowned for their pig piss. You have guests. Break out some bacon. What are we doing? Jesus Christ.
I guess you are kind of right. It's not as beautiful as I thought. It looks like the horse's food, does it not?
Yeah. It looks like the scraps from dinner of the past night. I don't care how broke you are. Beans and carrots. That's not breakfast. Maybe that's like a lunch stew.
Dude, remember like 30 minutes ago, or not even, more like 5 minutes ago, you're like, I will eat whatever with anyone.
Listen,
I will gladly
I'll eat it, but you called it a beautiful breakfast. It's not. Terrible breakfast.
I meant beautiful wife. Sorry. Fred's beautiful wife has a shitty breakfast. How is that?
Also, I would also like to point out, before they sat down for breakfast, Falco was kind of making his point about how they were going to work. He, too, was screaming at the top of his lungs. Falco, they seem like nice people. You're inside. Your work's done. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah, he's a pretty bad actor. Gabby kind of outdoes him on the acting.
Anyway, onward from this terrible breakfast that Gabby, it wasn't even the fact that she didn't want to eat with these people. She just genuinely, she was like, wow, I have to eat beans and carrots before 9 a.m. Are you kidding me?
Well, they learned from the best. They went to some guy's restaurant, a Marleyan's restaurant, and this is what he was making, so they're just repeating it.
I don't think they've been yet.
Well, yes, they have, according to Fred. But Gabby loses her shit once Sashi's mommy puts her hand on her head, and Fred then explains that she's probably had it rough. What is Fred's wife's name?
Is Fred trying to say that she was abused?
Yeah, that's what I think that's kind of what he's
all right,
saying here.
Quit making so many assumptions, Fred.
He's not wrong. Flock did beat the living dog shit out of her, which she mostly deserved.
Well,
from a great guy like Flocky. Or Flotch. Is it Flock or Flotch? Flotch Forrester.
I'm not even giving you the time of day.
Okay, whatever.
Just sit in your mispronunciation of names joke.
Wow.
You already went Flocky, and you went, you know what? That's not good enough. Let me come back with Flotch too.
Well, Flocky, once I start liking a character, I give him a nickname, Flocky. But then I realized, wait, what if his name's pronounced Flock or Flotchy? Or not Flotchy, Flock or Flotch.
You're having a terrible podcast. This is our worst episode ever.
It might be the worst one yet. You're right. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see. Where was I at? These are fucking shitty notes. So yeah, they start chowing down, saying the food is delicious. What a lie. Gabby can't even eat because she's shaking so much. She just can't believe she's in the same room as these devils. And as she's eating, we then go to a perfect transition to the man himself at the port with Kiyomi, Zachary.
Yep.
Kiyomi is congratulating them on the victory that the brave Eldians had. And we then go to the quote of the day from Chazzy Chad.
Well, it's the week, because we only do one of these a week.
And this is what I call the QUOD quote of the day. Zachary says, "We're deeply honored. Welcome to the world's most dangerous island."
Welcome to the world's most fishy island. You're going to love it.
And then it flashes to him putting a butt funnel in one of the prisoner Marleyans. It's like, whoa.
Whoa. You're right. This place is dangerous.
You're going to love it.
And it does smell fishy.
Ew. This guy's been eating some of Nicolo's food. Then Kiyomi says that they must witness in person about how dangerous this is, and then Zachary asks about a craft that they have now, which is just covered with tarp. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
That iceberg stone is delicate.
Yeah.
You don't want any water getting in that.
And then she says that this may just be the world's first flying boat powered by iceberg stone, and that with it, we will ascertain the true power of the rumbling.
Which is kind of like what we didn't really understand. what a flying boat had to do with the rumbling.
And then I mentioned this because this is the only thing I could think of. If the colossal titans are released with the rumbling, they would have to cross the sea to get to land.
Oh yeah, I forgot when I was laughing at you having one of the titans fly one of these planes.
Well, I said they either fly the plane or they just swim across. But if they're swimming, why is there necessary for a boat plane?
This plane's like big enough for 2 people, and Chad's got like a titan, knees spread out.
60-meter colossal titan flying it. No, but I think what it's for is they're gonna be boating next to these colossals swimming. I think it's just gonna be like Michael Phelps colossal
They
titans.
just have impeccable form. It's like a dog. They just know how to swim.
It's gonna be great. But then we go to the Capitol, or at least an important monumental building. I think me and you kind of just...
It's a great way to describe it.
Yeah. And the man, the myth, the legend himself,
It's this guy.
Mr. not Ronnie, Flagle.
I'm right here, Chad. I am the man, thank you. But yes, we're talking about Flagle. He still looks well-fed. Good for him.
And others are asking Hanji if the rumors are true about Aaron and the volunteers being detained. He's
No
like, "We want
comment at
answers."
this time.
He said, "We want answers. Why must Shiganshina evacuate? The Reeves companies built this city back to its former glory, and now you want to evacuate it?" She says to ask the military police, and then we have newspaper man number 1 say that the Yeager's victory has helped the Eldians, and that all Eldians should have a voice on if Aaron should be imprisoned or not. The newspaper man, this guy's always speaking truth.
Yeah, these guys are always around. You know, they're all about good journalism nowadays. You know, before they were kind of paid off by the military police. They had a real moral dilemma that they figured out, and now they're just doing good old journalism.
And Hanji-san, they have so much trust in her because she's the one that gave them the truth. Mm-hmm. She spilled the beans on everything, and now they're like, now you're turning your back on us, Hanji?
She's got all this weight on her shoulders.
You lose one eye and you start acting different, huh? And so then we have newspaper man number 2. He says, Hanji, you once said...
He's a mustachioed man.
Yeah, newspaper mustache man number 2 says, Hanji, you once said, taxpayers decide what to make of information. And god damn it, we finally got some taxpayer talk back on this podcast.
All right,
Let's
yes.
go.
We've been saying this since season 1. We love tax talk around Attack on Titan.
It's so good, man. Why do they not mention these taxpayers anymore?
Yeah, I don't know.
God.
Nothing gets Ronny and Chad hyped more than tax talk.
Yeah, she says the situation has changed, though, and the meaning is different. And then Flagle says that he knows that she's had it rough, but just look me in the eyes, Hanji. Or look me in the eyes, Hanji, and tell me I can trust you.
And I'll look back at your eye. That's what he should have said.
Yeah, that would have been good if he said that. That would have been kind of like a slap back.
Because she's got one eye, is what I was saying.
Yeah, well, we get that. You don't have to be a dick to Hanji.
Okay.
So.
What? All right.
And this just brings back the good memories of her and Flagle being a great team.
Great team.
They did some great stuff, back in season 3, and it's just a great callback. And Hanji's still just looking sexy as ever in her business attire. Even though she looks half man, I would still just slurp a derp. So,
all right, so moving on.
She goes into the building for a meeting. What is that?
Keep going.
Okay. Says, so you 4 are the ones that leaked the information of Aaron being arrested. Holger, Wim, Luis, and Flock Forrester, baby.
God, I've loved this guy from day one. This guy's always been my guy.
And how great does this guy look? His hair,
oh my God.
His face,
incredible.
His
sleek.
His demeanor.
I would describe him as sleek, and he's awesome. He's my
and
love this guy.
I love it. And he instantly just says devil as soon as she walks in, and she's like, what? And he's like, oh, sorry, that's just my favorite word. He's like Gabby. He uses devil in the different tints of Gabby. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah.
This guy is the fucking G, bro.
It's a sentence enhancer. He can sprinkle it in here, there, just can mean all sorts of different things.
Flock says Aaron Aaron should be free. Sorry. He hasn't done anything wrong. He got us victory.
He said, oh, he won? Whoops. Sorry about that part where he won.
Yeah. Sorry that he helped all of us Eldians on this island.
Speak the damn truth, Flock. Let's fucking go.
Wow. What a change of tone from you, Ronny.
Oh my god, I've never
Can't
said
help
a
but
single,
think
never said a bad thing about Flock. Someone point me to an area where I did.
Cannot help but think that you're just an FAB. So, and that's, for anybody asking, that's a fake-ass bitch.
No one's asking. That's what happens when
You're a fab, dude.
That's what happens when you keep using acronyms that no one cares about. They stop asking, but you explain them anyway.
He says, victory in the rumbling for the sake of Eldia. Aaron saved the lives of everyone in the new Eldian Empire.
Flock signing up for the Aaron fan club. I love it.
I love him just talking. He always, I think on the Zeppelin, he said something about the new Eldian Empire too, which is a little dangerous talk. It's like, oh, you might want to calm down there a little bit, bud. But I mean, I love it. He's all Team Aaron. He's going to follow the devil. He's been following the devil since Irwin, and now the devil's Aaron.
This guy loves devils.
He does. Hanji says there's no guarantee that the rumbling will work, though, and it's no more than a myth at this moment. And then he says, well, yeah, only because you have Aaron locked up. Boom, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the way. And then that's when he says, can we waste time at this rate? The victory is just for nothing.
Oh, Honda, did you just get burned? Oh, wait, it's just Flock's hair.
Oh.
Whoa. Show me what that crotch looking like, boy.
And it's red for sure. And then he says, Aaron Yeager will lead our country. Release him at once. Flock fucking Forster, the man of reason.
God, he just became a knight.
Fasten your fucking seatbelt, Ronny. All Flock is in town. Oh, you
strap this on. Somebody bend over.
Well, Hanji can bend over because that's what Flock's doing to her right now. Hanji then pulls her inner Zeke.
She's like, all I saw was red. I'm like, wait, were you bleeding? He goes, no. Just, it was hair everywhere.
Fucking fire forest down there. Hanji pulls her inner Zeke, though, with her glasses fogged up and says, you may be right about that. So she's acknowledging that Flock is just the man of reason and everything he says is just the truth. And she made the decision to do Zeke's plan, and she's not going to tolerate any disobedience. You'll all be tried for leaked classified info. So Hanji isn't having it, bro. This is what I like about Hanji. She keeps it real.
Yep.
Flock might be speaking the truth, but nah, bitch. Go to jail, bitch.
This is the most real. We got realness on both sides. No one's being fake. Hanji's going to be real. Oh, Flock over here. Him and the gang are going to be real because, yes, they're going to be confined for leaking information out about Aaron. But, that just gives my boy Flock the perfect opportunity for a little quote of the week action.
Oh,
because he says, if it's for the sake of humanity, so fucking be it.
Woo! Flock Forrester is on the move.
Jess, this is the sound of the flamethrower that Flock.
Oh, yes. And that's just his crotch. It's not even a flamethrower.
That's what he calls it. That's what he calls his dick.
Oh, I fucking love Flock, bro. You were not Team Flock in Season 3, but that's fine. Welcome to the club, buddy.
What? No, I've loved this guy from day one.
Hanji-san then remembers Sonus's words as he says, when one role is done, another steps in to start the act again. Good luck, Hanji. And poor old Hanji, everyone's left the room now, and she's starting to have a mini panic attack because she's just bearing so much weight on her shoulders.
Yeah, I feel really bad for her. She does. It's getting to her.
It is getting to her. It's rough. I mean, we saw Irwin. He had problems with it, too.
Now Levi's got to be like the leash for Zeke, so she's just left with old Zackley helping her out. And, Pixies can only do so much to help. She's got a lot on her plate.
Yeah, and Flagel's yelling at her, and her and Flagel used to be best buds. It's just rough right now. So she has her mini panic attack, but then she just says, I'm pooped. And that's the same words that Peak spoke, a few episodes ago. And it's just adorable when they say that they're pooped. I just want to be there for them.
Yeah, because nothing makes me think adorable than poop.
Yeah, you're right. And she's just looking cute as hell. And she says, "You know what? No."
Her hair looks really good here.
It does.
It's like
her hair
a
looks
nice
great.
messy bun. It's cute.
She says, "I need to investigate more." You know what Hanji's doing? She's just going to keep moving forward. No matter what's in her way, she's going to keep moving forward.
You go, girl. We're cheering for you.
Girl power, even though she's a man.
Yeah, you go. Whatever you want to be.
Well, whatever she is, I'm here for it. Let me tell you.
Same here, brother.
We go to the cell of Luis, one of the... What?
Just, can you name a 45 or a Louise that's less than 45 years old?
Yeah, Luis from Attack on Titan, season 4, episode 11.
Just it's an old lady name is what I'm trying to get at. Okay.
I see what you're saying now.
I don't think we got a whole lot of 15-year-old Louises making TikToks nowadays.
You're probably right about that one. Twerking on TikTok, like.
My name's Louise. It's like, wow, you really backed that thing up nice, Louise.
Of course you would
Where
say
are
that.
your parents?
Of course you said something about a 15-year-old backing it up, and this is where I tell you once again, be careful.
It was role-playing, dude.
Yeah, it's weird that you want to role-play with a 15-year-old.
Hey, man.
Hey, just, you do you, man. I'm going to stay over here.
These 15-year-old TikTokers are making a bunch of money. If you don't, sometimes you got to get in the game. You got to get a little dirty, and you're offering them some money because you're just leaving money on the table.
Well, just know I am not a part of this conversation. Chadley is 6 feet away right now. We are social distancing.
You just keep invested in Dogecoin, and I'll invest.
Okay, I'm social distancing from this conversation, dude. But yeah, we got Louise. We'll not mention anything else about her again. Who is led to her cell by Mikasa, and she asks Mikasa if she's been in this cell before.
Weird fucking question.
Yeah, it is weird. Mikasa says no. What kind of fucking question is that? Louise says, "Oh, that's a shame."
She goes and sits on the bed and looks on the ground, and on the ground right next to the bed, it's got carved out. It just says Mikasa. She's like, that bitch.
She then says she doesn't regret what she did if victory is the ultimate goal. And Flock is just rubbing off on her. I mean, this guy, Flock, he's the end game of this story, I think. I think he's going to be the last man standing. And she says, obeying laws isn't end-all be, is it, Mikasa? And Mikasa tells her to be quiet, that she'll be here even longer if she keeps up that talk. So she says that she's the same person as she was the day that she was saved by Mikasa. And we get a flashback in Season 1 when Mikasa cuts down that Titan in front of Reeves, Old Man
Reeves, who...
What a dickhead he was. I forgot how much of a dick face that guy was.
Yeah.
Greedy bastard. Hogging all the food. That is literally you in Season 1.
That guy was a bad egg.
That I'm not even kidding. You were that guy in Season 1. You had all the food on a wagon. You won't let anyone cross until all that food
Well, it's crossed. Because it's for everyone. It's just now's not the time to give it away,
For everyone?
It's for everyone. But just please stay away from my cart for right now. I would appreciate that.
So what a great callback this was. And she says that without power, you can't protect anything. It's okay to fight against senseless violence. Ever since then, she wanted to get close with Mikasa.
So this is really cool that they brought this back up. It makes a lot of sense. Even back then, they even concentrated on this girl.
Yeah.
Which makes this so cool that they bring it back now. Louise is a real one.
She is. She's learned from the best.
And I wish,
Flotchy.
It's not like Mikasa, but I wish she would slow down enough to realize what a good thing she did.
Yeah,
her life's been.
Well, you see Mikasa grab her scarf real quick.
Yeah,
and she does a little, almost like she's kind of.
And Louise
blushing.
is like, "Hey, why does that thing smell so terribly?"
Yeah,
she's like, "Wait, you were wearing that same day years ago. Have you washed that?"
You just see Mikasa get a quick sniff in. She's like, wait, did you just sniff that?
She's like, Louise is like, they say never meet your heroes. You are one weird cookie.
And then she even brings up after she sniffs the scarf, did you join the Survey Corps because of Eren?
Because of that Yeager boy?
He should be freed if so.
Mikasa's like, did I or did I not say I will go wherever he goes? Yes, maybe no. Please quit asking me questions, Louise.
And then Mikasa being an absolute Gabby is what I'll call it. We know what the other 4-letter word is. Says, I only have one thing to say. Keep your mouth shut. This was really like, whoa, chill the fuck out, Mikasa. What's gotten into you? And then Louise then gives her the salute over her heart, which is just an awesome moment. And that's when Mikasa gets flashes of Eren slaughtering a couple men at 9 years old, protecting her and saying, you're safe now, Mikasa.
Whoa. What do you make of all this? What's going on here? Is it...
I think this girl... I think it's making a callback here. This girl is striving to be like Mikasa because Mikasa saved her. Mikasa is kind of striving to be like Eren because Eren saved her, and then this just kind of brings back those memories of Eren saving her. Or, get this, paths.
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 Whoa.
Paths.
And that's all. I don't think we need to say anything more about that. That's our theory. Paths.
And then we go to the calling card.
Calling card, baby. Calling card.
Where it says, Paradis Island Devils. An insult referring to King Fritz and the Eldians who fled to Paradis Island. In Titan studies, the Paradis Island threat theory claims the Eldians who fled there still bear a grudge from the Great Titan War and despise the rest of the world. With the threat of Eren Yeager now apparent, the insult holds truer than ever.
Wow, what a calling card. That's a great definition. Glad we got that.
All right.
So we open up with my man Dot, who was talking about how 10 months ago we opened up the Trost Railway. We got a little... Thanks to the hard work of 6 people, we were able to open up this entire railway.
Hey, if it wasn't for that, Eren wouldn't look like a fucking snack.
It turns out he's talking to this bitch Yelena over here, who they actually gave her one chair. She was too big for it. They had to go find a bigger chair.
Yep.
Bring it in
to sit that fat ass on, man.
Damn.
She has got a booty.
And so Pixies keeps going. He says, the guard watching Yelena suddenly changed to one... Okay, and the whole series just comes right back to this guy, Flock Forrester. What?
This guy... you know what I think this guy is right now? I think he's a fucking rebel. I think he's a rebel. He is the cult leader. We thought it was Zeke. It's fucking Flotch. This guy is going to fucking carry us to victory.
This guy's in game. Pixie's been doing some investigation. Flock escorted her to her lodgings like any respectable young man would do, by the way. Thank you, Flock.
Yep.
Even if that was your duty or not.
You think he dicked her down?
Probably. And, okay, it's one of two things. Either Yelena, she just goes for anything, or she's so passionate about Zeke that she won't even, look at another man. It's one of the two.
Yeah, because Pixis is looking better this episode. His head's not as squirrely.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but his...
he's not as... Yeah.
He doesn't look as sickly. Now,
Squirrely.
Yelena, she doesn't seem very interested in any of this conversation, but Pixies goes on to say that Flock was just detained for leaking info, and her new lodging was just a few kilometers away from Eren's house. So a lot of things lining up that makes her look a little, suspicious of something or other. And it also just so happens that around this time, Eren began moving on his own. So he says all that, then follows it up with, well, at least now I have an excuse to talk with a pretty lady.
Which, this is where I start talking about our Discord, bro.
Yeah.
Our Discord is obsessed with Yeleni.
Yeah, they're riding hard for Yeleni.
They're riding hard for her. And I've got to say, I used to date a 6'1" lady back in high school who had tremendous thighs and...
Yeah, volleyball player.
Tremendous thighs, decent, behind.
Caboose, yeah.
That's what some people call it.
Some also would call it a caboose.
Yep. And, I got to say, she probably outweighed me by 40 pounds.
Well, she definitely did, yeah. Those pictures are hilarious.
But, given that I am 6'4", not 6'4", 6'9", 6'10", 6'10", 140, sorry.
Yeah, but built like a toothpick.
6'10", 140. I guess I need to put on some weight. That sounds pretty.
Do this
light,
experiment at home. Grab a toothpick, okay? Grab it with 3 fingers. Put your top 2 fingers, your middle finger and your pointer finger, on top of the toothpick, and then use your thumb. Now, in this scenario, the thumb is the big old caboose of Chadley's ex-girlfriend, and just put a little bit of pressure and see, and that is how Chad's body broke when they were dancing at the 9th grade formal.
It was 10th grade, but dude, when she would pick me up and I would be straddled around her thighs while she picked me up, it was like she was doing me. It was whoa. We would make out, but she would pick me up because I tried to pick her up and my legs would just tumble. If that makes sense.
And I always respected you for just owning it and wrapping your legs around her.
I just like a strong lady, let me tell you.
And I think that's what some people have going on over in the Discord, because there's no way that the people who are fanning over her in Discord are the size of this unit.
Oh, yeah.
That is Yelena. And if that's what you're into, hey, go for it. Who are we of the Podcast Chronicles to stop you? Keep going, team. Keep going. We cut over to Gabby. We're leaving Pixie's horny's ass for a little while, but I respect him for
he was boozed up.
Being so direct.
There's an excuse.
Well, are you really boozed up when you're always boozed up, is what I would ask. So we cut over to Gabby, who's sweeping a stable with a demon horse staring at her. I don't know if they were going for something here, but this is a weird-looking horse by the animators. The horse tries to take a bite out of her head because it loves the taste of cunt, and which leads into a series of comical happenings that concludes with Gabby's head in a bucket and Falco crying out as if he just watched her die.
Gabby! That was a funny ass Gabby yell.
It's like, Falco, she just fell down. She's okay.
This was pretty incredible. This whole episode is about Gabby, like, getting the truth straight from the horse's mouth, which is these devils.
Oh, fuck you.
Dude, you
I hate you so much.
You hate me that I'm calling out what this is right here?
What are you doing right now?
That is what this whole scene is about, dude.
Alright, keep going. Go for it, then.
This whole scene is so unnecessary.
Hey, are you trying out to read books for Audible? What do you think
I'm sorry,
doing?
but I'm so literally perfect that I catch up on these things.
Are you trying out for a spot of the journalist in the New York Times? Jeez.
Okay, well, they call me LG. I'm a literacy genius, and basically what I was trying to say, this whole episode...
Sorry, that bullshit got caught in your throat.
Sorry. It's fucked up. This whole episode is Gabby hearing the truth straight from the horse's mouth. These devils, okay? As we know, that is a great saying, even in the Japanese culture.
Keep going. Joe, let me knock you off your
even in the Japanese culture. And so yeah, we have to throw in this scene to just show that Gabby, you know, she's getting the truth straight from the horse's mouth, but she still blames the devils even after she's been in the horse's mouth. This is what we call, you know, great metaphorical preferences in a TV show.
Thank you, Mr. Chasington. So I just want to go back to Falco's voice acting here. I don't care. I'm sure all of you caught it. When he screams Gabby, when she falls down, if I go up to whoever voiced this actor, which, by the way, I think does an incredible job, if I said... All right, so Gabby falls down because a horse is trying to eat her head, and now she's got a bucket on her head. Say this. Gabby! And then I go, whoa, okay, that's pretty intense. Now, let's say Colt dies. This is your brother. You love him. How are you going to react? Yeah, they're the same. They're the exact same. There's no way he can put in 2 different performances from what he did with Gabby falling down.
And you're welcome, guys, for bringing in my after that bullshit that Ronny just spilled. I bring in the truth to this podcast and the great references that it does. So yeah, I'm a more serious guy than Ronny. But yeah, let's move on.
So Gabby, she's still feeling really sorry for herself, says that this is the devil's doing, and Falco is like, no, first of all, it's a horse's doing, which was a good line.
Yep.
And then he, I don't know if you caught this part, it was only in the dub, he says, how is it that in an entire stable you're the jackass, Gabby?
That was my favorite line of this entire episode. I loved it.
So Gabby, she still doesn't like it here. She wants to leave because she doesn't think they're going to learn anything out here in the sticks. I like her cool little lingo. She does this a couple times this episode. But Falco thinks they should stay a little bit longer. And by a little bit, I mean until another war shows up at the front porch, I think. That's kind of what he's saying here.
Wait, Falco he's got some sense in him. I think he's kind of right. What do you think?
Yeah, Falco...
10 wow, out of you 10, hate Falco.
10 out of 10 times, anything Falco says this episode, I'm siding with him when he's put up next to Gabby.
That's true.
I think he's making a lot of sense given the situation. Falco goes on to say that he bets Reiner and his brother will show up too, which to me, this just seemed like a very easy bet to make. I'm not giving him great odds. Like, what?
And I'm sure, Colt will do a lot.
Would they not show up? Oh, did Colt have a dentist appointment that day, so he missed the boat to come over to war? What a weak statement.
Colt's going to be terrible, dude. He doesn't even have a Titan. What's he going to do?
So Gabby asks Falco if he's pissed at Zeke since he was a traitor all this time, and you can tell Falco's a little disappointed, but he continues to work and kind of shrugs it off by saying, there isn't anything they can do about it now. So, which is a perfect, you can tell it bothers him, but Falco's letting bygones be bygones, and he's just sweeping out the stables.
What are these two 12-year-olds going to do to stop that,
So, Fairy Girl, also Tinkerbell, also, Kaya? Yep. She's got a picnic basket.
Sasha's little munchkin.
And offers them some lunch, which made me think, me and you, I've said this for a while now, but you always kind of shrug it off. We should go on more picnics together. It's a little cold right now, but I think me and you would be a great picnic pals.
We have gone on a couple, right, in the past.
We've done a couple picnics, but I just feel like we could,
it just kind of annoys me when we bring all that food and I get like a bite or two of it.
I just think that we could increase our picnic output 63%, and we would be the better for it.
We have a lot of meals together, and that's probably why I'm only 140 pounds and 6'10", because all of the food somehow disappears.
So Falco, who's settling in here quite nicely, asks about all the young workers around. And Kaya says, yeah, everyone here is an orphan. The Queen's policies give support to kids without family. Good work, Horstoria. I mean, that's a solid policy.
No, that is, dude. It's the one good thing she's done besides
don't
fuck
say
around
the one
and have a
thing.
baby.
I mean, yes, she's Horstoria, but at the same time, she...
Wow, great job, Historia. What have you been doing? Oh, you've been fucking dudes. Okay.
I guess this is kind of like Zeke's take about, or not Zeke, Falco's take about Colt and Reiner showing up. Horstoria is going through all the bills, and they say, okay, and then here's one. We don't know if you want to sign this one. It just basically helps out all those orphan children who no longer have families. She's like, yeah, I guess I'll sign that one.
She's like, hopefully they grow up to be young, strong men and they can fuck around with me. Because I'm a whore.
Jeez.
Sorry, I might have took that too far.
She's a lovely girl. She's just been misguided. We want nothing but the best for her.
I just hate how, like, you stop talking to a chick for a little bit and she just starts fucking dudes. It always happens.
So Kaya says all of them here lost their parents 4 years ago. And Gabby, who's still being a real sourpuss, sees this as a good opportunity to tell this little orphan girl that she hasn't accepted her guilt yet. One hell of a sentence there.
What a cunt.
Falco is so shocked that Gabby is getting ready to be this much of a cunt that he just doesn't say anything. His words are literally taken out of his mouth. He can't find any.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Gabby goes on to ask if what do you think this girl is? 13, 12?
She's a little bit older than, probably like 13 or 14.
Yeah. She asks if this 13, 14-year-old girl has forgotten the atrocities the people of this island committed. Because only when an Eldian accepts the depths of their sins can they begin to atone. Jesus. She's reading straight from the textbook here.
Yeah.
This isn't how kids talk.
This is straight from the Marley and Reading Rainbow segments.
And Kaya's like, wait, what did I say? All I said was my parents died, right? Why am I being attacked? And then Gabby goes on to tell this girl who was like basically just a little bit older than her that even if she acts like a saint now, her sins are too great to escape.
Yep.
So, yeesh.
And listen, my sins are better because I grew up in Marley.
You can save the world. Not enough. Keep trying harder. And Falco's basically like, hey, chill. I know they served us some poopy beans and vegetables for breakfast, but they seem pretty nice.
Poopy. That's a funny word.
I mean, it looks like there was.
Why did you have to say poopy?
It's what it looks like. I don't know. But at the same time as he's saying this, Kaya is asking, is that what they teach you in Marley? Dun, dun, dun.
Dum, dum, dum.
So Falco and Gabby realize what was said in their vicinity. So they stop and Falco says, what did you just say? She's like, you two come from Marley, right? Falco says, how do you know that? And Kaya says, seriously? The two of you have been unnecessarily yelling all episode. I've heard you guys talk about this numerous times. So Falco is embarrassed, which was kind of cute. And
Gabby's going for another weapon.
And Gabby just slowly gets up and picks up a pitchfork. I can't say that word. And Falco goes on to say, why did you say something? You're so sneaky. And I mean, she wasn't that sneaky. This is how, for anyone who knows, because I've talked about him before, Travis. Yep. This is how Travis keeps secrets. You tell something to Travis, basically he's going to keep that secret until he finds the next person who he wants to tell that secret to. She kept it a little bit longer, but I think it's only been one day.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you think she told Sasha's dad?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
That they're from Marley?
What do you think?
That's probably a good idea. That's probably why she had them stand 50 feet away while she went inside.
Well, that, and as we know, as you broke down so elegantly for us last time, old Fred seems to be down with giving Marlene's a chance. Yeah. So she's probably seen that behavior and told him what it is.
And he was like, hey, listen, this is the bitch that killed Sasha. Let's just give her some poopy beans.
And, well, okay, so I just said that. You don't have to make them poopy beans now. I'm sure they were fine beans. They looked properly cooked.
Oh, now you change your mind.
I'm just saying,
you get food on your mind. You start changing your mind.
So Gabby ends up charging because this island devil has shown her true colors, apparently. But she's stopped by Falco. And Falco, once again, is thinking the same thing I am, which is, stop, you idiot.
Yeah. She loves going for weapons. This is, her third time this episode she's grabbed.
Yeah. And she'll find a weapon out of anything.
Yeah, it's been a brick, a rock, now it's a pitchfork. Next thing we know, she'll be grabbing one of the horse's dicks and swinging away.
So two standbys are standing around, and they ask what's going on, and Kaya says, no worries, this Mia chick thinks I'm stealing her brother. Shipping it.
Shipping, yes.
Ooh, Falco going for a little older girl.
Falco. How about this one bystander having the most Japanese voice in the entire show?
Yeah. It was
How incredible is that?
It was pretty startling. That guy did a great job. Then this guy thinks it's the perfect time for some punny humor, so he says, don't horse around, you'll get hurt. Which at this point, after your performance this episode, I'm guessing you loved, Chad.
Well, I just don't think you understand how this episode's all about horses.
Because he's standing next to a horse. That was the other thing that was going on.
So good, dude. I'm glad you picked up on that one. I got you on the last horse reference, but you got me on this one. I got you. It was really good.
So Kaya takes them back to her home village where she reveals she is the little girl that Sasha saved 4 years ago.
Aww.
When her mom was slowly getting eaten by a titan just because the entire village left them because the mom didn't walk so well.
Yeah.
So Kaya has an intriguing question to me and Ben, a.k.a. Gabby and Falco. She asked them, what exactly did my mom do?
Well, it's what she didn't do, and that's walking well.
And that's, hey, me and you, same thing, Jazz. My note was, well, first of all, she couldn't walk.
You know, we're on the same page, man.
I don't know the full story, but depending on how that injury came about, it could have been her fault. But Gabby's offended by this stupid question and says that her kind has slaughtered people for thousands of years.
Yeah, idiot. Did you not know that?
And she goes on to say, don't tell me you forgot. And Kaya says, Well, to be honest, I never really knew in the first place because I wasn't there. And Gabby goes on to say that Eldians use the power of the Titans to trample and rule the world for millennia. But an eye for an eye is what Gabby thinks because she cannot wait to get the power of the armored Titan that she can use to trample and rule the world for millennia.
It's so ironic. She's saying this to a person who is the exact same species as her. They can both turn into Titans if they're injected.
So Gabby, who is certainly not whispering at this point, speaking of yelling, tells Kaya to stop playing the victim. But Kaya says, my mom was born and raised here. She never did anything like that. She hurt her leg in a tragic water skiing accident, and it was never the same after that. But a century ago...
She was horsing around.
But Kaya says, a century ago, the sins of your ancestors were terrible and great. And Kaya says, a century ago...
She goes, which one was it? Terrible or great?
How about the people who live now? How have we sinned? And she goes on, not long ago, you guys trampled my home, but it was also your home. But it also wasn't my home, really, because I didn't come along for another century. And Gabby's like, wait, what am I saying here? But no,
just the brainwashing techniques here are just out of control, dude. How do you even... This is like some MK Ultra shit.
So Gabby, she's starting to fall apart, but Kyle won't even let her come back because she has her argument on lock, which is her mom didn't kill anyone. Why did she have to suffer? There has to be a reason. It's crazy if there's not.
And then Gabby says, she should have been able to walk better.
And no, Gabby at this point, she looks pretty broken. She looks pretty speechless. They didn't tell her what to say next in the pamphlet, so she didn't know where to go from here. In the booklet, this was not covered. Usually it was like...
By then, if anybody's talked back this much, they would have already been killed or turned into a Titan, so...
It was like, these people didn't do anything, turn to page 7, say this, but they didn't have anything for if the person says, my mom didn't kill anyone. That's where...
Yeah. She's like, wait, I can't turn this person into Marleyan officers. What do I do?
Talk to a superior officer. But no, Falco, he finally speaks up because Gabby looks, at a loss for words. And says that the invasion of Paradise 4 years ago was staging for a larger attack. He tells Kaya that her mother got caught up in it. She didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry.
It's Falco is the voice of reason this entire season. And him being in the ending, I think he's going to be the voice of reason for the entire show. He's the last innocent voice of reason left. We have like Reiner and people who try to be a voice of reason, but they've all done terrible shit.
Yeah. So Gabby, she's got some words for Falco now that all this intenseness is over. She says that, saying that he's leaking too many secrets to the enemy, and she goes on to ask why he apologized. And, Kaya says, thank you, Falco, for your words, but tells him that it's weird for him to apologize for Marley. You were just born there. Wow, Kaya, dude. Beautiful.
It is. This whole thing is just such a tragedy, dude.
Falco goes on to ask her how she managed to escape, and she tells the story of an older girl who was quite heroic by hitting the Titan with an axe and putting herself in between Kaya and the Titan so Kaya could escape. She says if she was alive, she wouldn't abandon people like you with nowhere to go, just like she didn't abandon me. Beautiful.
Rip,
Sasha. Rip,
this
girl.
whole conversation is just...
Love you, girl.
We love you, Sash. Well, Ronny doesn't.
I love you, girl. Just
literally, Ronny's least favorite episode of the series is season 2 when Sasha saved this little girl. But it's okay.
Hope you're having one hell of a buffet up there. Love you.
Guys, just go back to season 2, episode 4, I believe, episode 3, the Sasha episode. That is Ronny's least favorite episode, and he was such a cunt about it.
Wasn't it just the second episode?
Maybe it was the second.
I'm pretty sure I was.
You were so angry,
I'm
dude.
pretty sure because one of my gripes of it was, wow, we had that crazy episode, and then we just went a Sasha-only story for season 2.
One of your gripes was one of the best characters, Sasha.
Love you, girl. Sasha, you my girl.
Hey, as long as you're back on Team Sash, that's all that matters.
Eat that buffet, baby. And so...
She's eating all of Nicolo's lobster in heaven right now.
Well, speaking of Nicolo, Kaya goes on to say, we were invited to a restaurant Marlian is working at. It's called Nicolo's Surf and Turf by the Sea. I hear their salted lobster is divine.
Some of the best boiled lobster you can get.
She says, if you come along, you might be able to find a way back home. And Gabby says, why? And Kaya says, quote of the week right here, because I want to be like her.
Dude,
how many quote of the week's going to have?
This show, man, this whole conversation right here is just absolutely stunning.
So we get into the end credits, but hold up, post-credit scene alert.
I have more to say, Ronnie.
Oh, well then why did you just stop and look at me?
Because I wanted to say, when I said stunning, I expected you to say, wow, you look beautiful when you, or not you look beautiful when you said that.
Oh, wow, fishing for compliments as always.
Can you at least say something back? Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. You say something
okay.
back. This whole conversation was absolutely stunning.
Wow, what an original take, Chaz. Stunning. Awesome work by you.
So.
Can't believe you expect people to pay you for takes like that. Chaz is like, hold on to your britches, everyone. This was stunning. $5, please.
I'm going to say it one more time, and I expect a better reaction from you. And I'm serious.
Yeah.
Fucking dead serious.
Yeah.
This whole conversation...
Wait, I'm not ready.
Okay.
Let me arrange my seat here. Okay, go for it.
This whole conversation was just absolutely stunning.
God, you're so beautiful when you say that.
Dude.
That's what you told me to say.
I didn't mean it like that.
You told me to say that you sounded or you looked beautiful when you said it.
Do you mean it?
Yes.
Well, thank you, Ron.
You got your glow back. You're not sickly and pale anymore. You're just as pale as you usually are, and you look great.
Thanks, man.
Do you have anything else?
Does it look like I've been working out?
Not really, no. I've got to be honest.
Okay, well.
You said you had something else. What is it?
Oh, yeah. So this whole conversation right here, this is actually the whole meaning behind Attack on Titan, was this conversation. I just wanted to say that. I want to go in depth with it, but you just keep looking at me weird, and I feel you keep... Am I just being too serious? Am I enjoying the show too much, Ronnie?
No, I think you're doing great.
I mean, I bring up that great horse metaphor, and...
You're getting choked up that you're so in your feels right now. It's okay. Hey, no tears.
Dude, I just love this show.
Is your heart tearing up right now?
My heart is tearing up right now. And Isayama-san, just... I want to say
no. I'll say thank you.
Konnichiwa.
That's something I can get on board with.
Wait, no, that's not even. Sorry, not konnichiwa. Well, I do want to say konnichiwa. If I did see him, I would say konnichiwa.
You fucking idiot.
I also want to say sayonara and arigato.
Yeah. You get your chance. You're like, all right, Isayama. Here's this young man's take on the episode. Hello, Chaz. I've got a podcast that you would very much hate. Just wanted to say, hey.
Do you think he listens to this?
And he goes, get out of here. Get out of here, toothpick boy.
Damn. But anyways, yeah, I was going to say, moral of the story, this is what the entire show is about.
Yeah.
These kids.
Beautiful writing.
It is beautiful writing.
And it was a great scene.
And I hope this kind of puts, some sense into Gabby's head.
I hope so too.
I mean, she's just like entirely brainwashed. She's talking to somebody of her own race about how everything bad they did. Like, it's just so hypocritical, obviously, but it's not her fault she's brainwashed. Yeah. But it's just a beautiful scene. And to that, I say stunning.
You're so beautiful. So we get to the end credits, but wait, we got
She got it right from the horse's mouth.
Post-credit scene alert. You won't let that go, huh? And we got our guy Magath talking to the other warriors plus cult, because that guy still gets to be here, even though his the Titan he was supposed to take is gone.
Just ran in circles the past few episodes.
So Magath says after investigating the Beast Titan's corpse, they only found Zeke's arms and legs. And that's just not enough body. We got to see some more body out there. And he's faked his death to deceive them. I mean, I'm surprised with how well they put all this together. Yeah. It makes sense, but it's just good work by the team over here.
Well, you could tell Magath kind of had his suspicions of Zeke all along.
That's true.
Yeah.
So they believe Zeke is sided with Paradis. He looks down at a modified ODM gear that he says uses Marleyan technology. So I don't know what else going on there. I'm interested to see some of this new badass ODM gear, possibly. I don't know what else they can do, but...
Wait, you think he's going to try to turn... Well, they don't have Ice Burst Stone, but...
No, I'm saying just whatever Zeke's done. So, I mean, using Marleyan technology, I'm guessing he's adjusting these ODM gear some way, somehow.
That's Yelini and them brought over some of that stuff to help out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Magath has already deduced that Zeke snuck comrades aboard a fleet. Yep. And Onya Capone missed that guy.
Yep.
4 years ago and set them up in paradise. And Porco's pissed because he says they were fighting by the side of a traitor this whole time. And Magath says, obviously this won't go unpunished. You know, we're taking this very seriously. So I'll tell you one thing right now, guys, about how seriously we're taking this. In 6 months, a global alliance will launch an offensive on Paradise. That's how seriously we're taking this. We're going to wait just a measly 6 months, and we are getting it.
Ronnie, it takes time to develop weapons, to get ready to launch.
You know I'm riding for my boy Magath. I just had to laugh because everyone else here is pissed about 6 months. Colt says, well, we're going to wait for 6 months to save my brother and Gabby. And Porco says Falco and Gabby are the most skilled warriors. And Peak, Miss Her, says it will take quite some time to train new recruits. But Magath says if we attack alone, we will just be driven back again.
Yep.
And that's where Vice Chief Rainer Braun speaks up and says, Zeke knows that, and he will be ready in 6 months. We can't wait for the Global Alliance. We have to launch a surprise attack at once.
Yeah, you know what Reiner knows? He's going to keep moving forward for those kids. That's what he's going to do, buddy.
So intense stuff.
Big bro
Reiner. We've got a little bit more stuff to do. We got some more show. Yep. I've got to pee so bad, so I'll be right back.
All right.
And I'm back. All right, so we've got... let's take care of some of our Attack on Titan stuff, and then we'll just have a few minutes of just Ronnie and Chad being jerks.
Okay.
So, first, we had Ellie, who wrote into our email, thepodcastchronicles@gmail.com. She thought of a great segment, Character of the Week.
Okay.
We do Quote of the Week. Who is your Character of the Week in this episode?
I mean, do you really got to ask who my Character of the Week for this episode is?
Yeah.
The man himself, Mr. Flotch Forrester. This guy is going to follow the devil to the end of time.
I like that.
He's a mystery man.
I'll go different. You know I'm digging Flock. I've always dug Flock.
No, you've always hated him.
No, I've loved him. I'll go, man, it's a tie for me between Falco and Kaya. I know Falco a little bit more. I've been wanting to see more from Falco, so I'm going to say him, but respect Kaya. And then we also had... Okay, so the Discord, let's be honest. Yeah, we've got a link in the description for you guys to join our Discord if you're not part of it yet. There's some filthy animals on there. They got real horny this past week. It got a little weird.
We're never horny on this podcast. No, I don't know how they...
We never talk about appearances or what we would have certain characters do in certain positions.
Fuck no. We're all emotional status over here.
Honestly, we don't really support it, but we're so hungry for listeners and that we will...
cater to them.
Yeah, we'll cater to this bad behavior.
Yeah.
So, with that being said,
I think with my head, not my second head.
We're doing a top 5 sexiest characters list. Let's get sexy.
Ronnie, start us off.
All right. So honestly, you were the one in the Discord telling people, "Hey, we're doing this because we know how horny you get." Wow. I actually want you to start us off because what are we doing? Are we doing characters through the whole series or just this season? I wasn't sure which one they wanted in the Discord.
I'm going based off mostly this season.
Mostly this season?
Yep.
All right, I'll work with that.
Do what you want, though. Just you're in the entire show. I'll let you do what you want.
There might be one that I'll have to one or two that I'll have to reach back for, but you go for it.
Oh, I don't got to reach back for nothing.
Okay, here, I'll limit mine to one in the past seasons. But let's go ahead and you start us off with your number 5.
Number 5? Gosh, I just got to bring this onto the list. This guy, he turns me on. Well, sorry. I shouldn't say he turns me on. Yeah. I should say his words.
Baby.
His words and hair just really do it for me. and that is Flock himself.
Ooh.
When he just says he's going to follow the devil
list.
to the end. Oh.
God, he's got such that fiery attitude that's just driving me wild.
And I didn't mean he turns me on. I just meant he's kind of sexy.
Oh, he's turning you on, baby. All right. I'm taking my shirt off real quick for this first one. The number 5 sexiest character that I would like to dive into a hot fudge bubble bath with is Hanji Zoe.
Oh, a little low on the list, but at least she's on there.
Well, I didn't want to step on your bounds too much because I know that's your girl, or whatever she wants to be. So I'm just letting you have some space with her.
Okay.
Number 4, what do you got?
Number 4, I'm gonna go with Yeager.
Ooh,
Yeager is on the list.
That's a big win for the Discord.
See, the Discord, man, they've kind of turned me on to her sights. I've been looking at her thighs lately.
They were talking about her so much. I looked at her a little bit closely this episode. She's got nice eyes.
Oh, yeah.
She just intimidates me a little too much. Some people are into that.
What I like.
I know that you're into that. Not so much for me.
Intimidate me with that cunt.
Whoa.
But
Jesus
yeah, those
Christ.
thick thighs, that
Gabby is not allowed in the
ass.
sexy section. Do not refer to cunts.
The thick ass clitoris, and then that she just reminds me of my ex, which kind of makes me sad.
The number 4 sexiest character that I would roll around with in Willy the Wonka's glass elevator is Eren Yeager.
Eren
with his
Yeager,
new
wow.
man bun, his shredded body, and those 12-pack of cum gutters sliding down.
Please don't ever say that. Just don't say that word again.
Sorry. Number 3.
Number 3, Peak Chan.
Ooh.
Oh, Peak Chan.
Yep.
The way that she just, rides around on all fours, just ready for them pansies to hop on top of her, just gets me going.
And the number 3, Ronnie's sexiest character that I would like to introduce to Chad just to make him feel bad about how sexy of a slice of cobbler that I'm putting whipped cream on is Sasha.
Sasha, good pick.
God, you were looking so good
R.I.P.,
this season,
baby.
girl. Like that ponytail, something to hold on to.
Okay, don't ever say that again either. Number 2, this is more of the listener saying this, not really Chaz myself saying it, but Eren Yeager. This guy apparently has really nice muscles now. He's got, just slick back hair.
I think it speaks for itself.
He's got the back of a fucking lion. He's got the chest of a Ronnie Coleman.
Thank you.
He's got the abs of Mr. Friendly Nice Guy, and boy oh boy would I just slurp a derp.
And
well,
he's got a
not
Mr.
me, but I've
Deviant
seen
Devilman
some
side
comments.
as well.
Yeah, I've seen some comments about people saying this, so I kind of put them on the list. I definitely don't want them to bend me over and take me to town.
The number 2 sexiest character that I'd meet halfway in a Pringles can is Zeke Yeager. Because
Yikes.
that body, the mysteriousness of his ways. I love a good beard.
Yep. Yeah,
love a beard.
You never know where he's going when he's using the Waze app. But number 1 on my list.
Oh yeah, take your pants off. That's fine.
Miss Timeless himself. Miss Timeless himself.
I see what you did there.
Zoe Commander-in-Chief. Oh, man. What do I say other than just do me, baby?
Whoa. Nothing, I guess.
And I'm not talking to you, Ronnie.
And the number 1. 1 second, I get everyone strap it on for this one.
Oh, yeah.
Number 1 sexiest. Whoa, don't step on my line here. I'm getting sexy. Number 1 sexiest character that would make me willingly agree to be buried alive just to claw my way out with only my dick and then crawl onto my knees to the location of a slip and slide that's set up on a jagged gravel path that I would slide belly down on just so I could have a 5% chance to fall into their sweet, sweet loving is Carla.
Carla.
Because I love myself a MILF.
Yeah. Got her ass eaten the first episode.
Doesn't exactly fall under the season 4 rule, but she's so nice I had to put her in there.
Oh, Aaron looks just like her. God, he's hot. Man, I am just sweating my balls off right now.
All right, let's turn off the sexy. Turn off the sexy. Put 1 second. Let's pull our pants back on. All right.
Oh, man.
Okay.
How do you even see that thing over there? That...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Never mind.
If it's the thing I'm talking about, it's it's right there on the table. I don't think that you.
I'm asking. No, I'm not asking how I can see it. I'm asking how yourself can see it.
Are you talking about this thing?
Well, I'm just saying it's so
I'll put it back.
I'm not talking about your stomach.
No, that sounds like this. All right, so
oh man,
we've turned off the sexy.
That was nice.
We got to get to a few more feedback. That was fun, guys. You know what? Next week, Andrew, who also wrote in, he wants us to do top 5 worst characters in the show of all time. I think that'll be fun too. Yep. Come back for that next week. So, do you have any other Attack on Titan questions, or are we getting into just Discord random stuff?
I think we're mostly getting into Discord.
Okay. Do you want?
Oh wait, hold on. Here's a random thing from the Discord. Let me find it. 1 second.
Way to be prepared, Chaz.
Somebody's just said Chaz was a band kid. Totally not taking offense to that.
Well, yeah. French horn.
Definitely wasn't. I was a basketball, football,
French
baseball.
Horn. French horn third chair, of course, because let's be honest.
Was then 4th batter on the baseball team, and
you can blow a dick, but not a horn. It's crazy.
So this not an e-girl says, question for Ronald and Chadley. What kind of music do y'all listen to?
Oh,
Great question.
Beautiful
question.
You take this one first because I'm shy.
I'll start off by saying my main playlist is just straight up Attack on Titan music.
And he's not kidding, because we work together, and sometimes I'll say, what do you listen to? And he'll show me, and it's just
UC Big Girl. And by UC Big Girl, I mean Yelena's thick ass.
Just 8:30 a.m., and he's just banging out to some UC Big Girl. Like, at least wait till, the last hour of the day, get you through it.
But yeah, that, and I'm a big metalhead, as everyone knows. I'm a fucking rager.
Everyone knows. Well, that everyone knows.
I'm a rager. I've broken a bunch of Guitar Hero guitars. I'm a fucking metalhead.
This is such a bitch answer. I'm so uncomfortable talking about music because I listen to lame stuff. I know it.
Owl City.
Fireflies was the hit of our generation. No, I listen to pretty much everything except for metal. I've got it, and not so much country. Anything else?
Yeah, country is a little. Especially Johnny Cash. Who the fuck?
I'll get down with
that?
Who'd sing to Johnny Cash? Season 4 preview. Please check it out. You're reading, and you're not exactly contributing to the podcast.
Do you want me to read another question? Is it time for another question?
I'll go for a question here. Okay. Once again, join the Discord. We get one from the Colossal Titan. This one's talking about our business. He says, if we donate to Patreon, how many pods can we get a week? None of this is set in stone, but it's just we're looking for listener feedback on how to best set this up. We don't even have a Patreon yet. This is just what we're kind of thinking right now. I think we'd keep our one free show, and then you could say something to agree with me, Mr.
I'm nodding my head. Oh,
yeah.
We're on a podcast.
Yeah, it didn't work great.
Yes.
We'd do one free show, and we would do another show that would basically be whatever people wanted us to watch. That would be behind the Patreon wall, along with another podcast that would be kind of just a longer form of learn a little something about Ronny and Chad.
Which is where you kind of learn a little something about us.
Yeah, if you don't know anything about that segment, you're really going to have to pay attention and learn something about it when we make an entire show out of it.
I mean, we're such interesting people.
We've honestly, what's going on is our heads are just the size of, I don't even know at this point, like a hot air balloon, because you guys are blowing so much smoke up our ass, and we're just really feeling ourselves.
That's how big it is.
And we think we can talk about anything, and you people will listen to it. And so that's exactly why it's going to fail. But that's what we're thinking right now. Okay. So 3 podcasts potentially a week, along with video in some form. We got to still figure that out, and reaction videos. But enough about that, because that's still a little ways down the road. Hit me with a question.
All right, we go to Carmelo, who is for some reason wearing a Speedo in his AVI, and he asks, does Chad have to stay at least 1,000 feet away from a school? And that is where I say yes.
Well, yeah, why would you even need to ask that one, Carmelo? I think we all know the answer to that. I've told this guy to be careful numerous times, but he keeps dragging me down with him. And honestly, I'll probably show up on some list here not too long ago either. But if you're a big-bootied 15-year-old TikTok star, please hit me up because I've got I can take your career to a whole other level respectfully.
And you forgot to mention that the reason I'm not allowed to go near a school is because I sped in a school zone, and that is the only reason why.
All right, buddy.
So you're the one that needs to be careful.
All right, whatever you're saying, brother. We got Bat Dan. Now, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, so I'm glad he brought this up. He, too, loves Power Rangers. He's noticed a couple of my Power Rangers references. And says he wants to know how far... By the way, he said this was a question for Ronny, so you're not even really involved in this one. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's fine. A nerd question for nerds.
Said wanted to know how far into the Power Rangers series you got, and do you have a favorite season of Power Rangers? Well, Bat Dan, thank you for taking the time to ask me a question and kind of excluding Chaz, even though I'm going to pull him back into the conversation for a moment.
Thank you, Nerd Dan.
Because he didn't mean that. He respects you quite a lot, actually. So we talked about last week how we grew up about 4 years old, and I thought we built an entire friendship on the backbones of Power Rangers.
Well, that's where you're wrong.
We had toys, but this is how can you be fake at 4 years old? This dickwad over here acted like he liked Power Rangers for years. For years.
I didn't act.
Just for us to rekindle our friendship years down the line and me start talking to him about Power Rangers because, I don't know, we only spent every waking moment of every day for a year and a half of our lives talking about Power Rangers.
I liked them.
For him to not know didn't know a character's name.
The red one.
By the way, Bad Dan, to answer your question, I only ever really got into the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I checked in on a few of the other ones, but I never watched them religiously. But I've also seen the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie with Ivan Ooze, which scared me a shit ton when I was a child. Google him, ladies and gentlemen. He's a very creepy looking character. But yeah, and I always tell this story. Chad had the coolest Power Ranger toy ever, where it was an action figure and it had the normal human head, and then when you pressed their belt, the head flipped backwards into their Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. They morphed into their Ranger.
Totally remember that.
It was the coolest toy. When I told him about it, he didn't remember having it.
Well, hey, man, when you're as privileged as I was and you have a stellar mom as I do, you get everything you want.
So while we have a friendship, it's teetering and tottering of breaking off because this guy's so fake, and basically what we built our relationship on is false. Also, Travis had a stuffed animal, or not a stuffed animal, I guess, a stuffed version of the Pink Ranger that he carried around for 3 years until it smelled like pee and my mom threw it away. But God, the Pink Ranger was honestly the first thing that made Ronny, feel something down in the loins.
Well, that's not... Well, yeah, I guess you say one of the first things. The first thing I can remember is when you downed that cake at your 3-year-old birthday party. You fucking housed that.
Right into my belly.
But yeah, keep going. Ask another question. And Bat Dan and you are totally not nerds.
So I got to go back to the new Discord stuff. What do you got?
So Amos asks, what do you think Levi was doing this episode?
I believe it's just Ames, you idiot.
Amos. No, it's either Amos or Amos. Amos. Is it Amos or Amos?
No, it's just Ames.
Okay. So we've got Amos. He says, what do you think Levi was doing?
And it's a woman.
So, okay. We've got Mr., Mrs.
Way to be a part of the Discord, buddy.
We have AMES, who says... We have Neutral, AMES, who says, what do you think Levi was doing
Definitely
this episode?
A girl.
I think he's been glaring at Zeke the entire time, watching his every move. I think you're totally right.
Yeah, I think she nailed it. We saw at the end of last episode where they're staring at, Levi's staring at Zeke. They've been doing that since we left. Yeah. I don't know how many days have passed, but they've just sat there the entire time.
He just can't wait.
I'm not even sure Levi's eaten anything. He's just stared at him.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind an episode of Levi just staring at him while Zeke reads a book.
Just 22 minutes. That'd be epic.
You got a question now?
No.
All right. We go to one more question. This is from Catherine. And he says, no, I'm just kidding. She says, what is your ideal ending for both of your favorite characters?
Ooh.
Where would you want them to be by the end of the series? Question mark. And what do you think is actually going to happen to them? Question mark. LOL.
So, who would I even say my favorite character is nowadays? Well, here, let's do this in a way, because if someone's a Titan, we pretty much know what's down the line.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they can have their moment of assurance, like they did what they set out to do, but unless some curse is broken in the path network, it seems like that's pretty much set in stone. I'll bring this up. You told me earlier, you said, if Falco... Tell me your take about Falco.
So I believe that Falco is going to make it to the very end. He is the most innocent. He's seen both sides. I mean, some of them have seen both sides, but he is like truly the last innocent one left who has been a part of both sides. And I think he's going to make it to the very end. Also, I think this kind of adds on to this question. They said Mikasa, Armin, and Eren. What happens to the main trio?
Yeah.
Like what's going to end up with them? Like you said, Eren and Armin are both going to die because they have the curse of Ymir. So
Right.
I think Mikasa lives. There you go.
I'm trying to think, like, what would be the best...
So who is your favorite character right now?
I don't even know.
I'll
I
go
haven't
with...
even thought about it.
I think I talk about Hanji so much, and she's
I'm just
been
thinking.
a part.
I'm thinking about all her characters. I'm worried about Hanji because she, even for fun, she's so into the Titans. So if they find a way to do away with all the Titans, there's nothing else to learn. What other hobby is she going to pick up on?
Oh man, here's what I want to happen with Hanji. I want Hanji to go out in a I don't want her to live to the end because, like you said, her dreams will already be over. I want her to go out in a badass way and maybe even die by a Titan. Not like it could be any Titan. It could be Reiner. But she dies still loving Titans. She just goes valiantly off into... and then how about they did this? She, like, as she dies, you see her soul get carried up, and then her and Erwin just fist bump. They're like, we did it.
Are we watching Harry Potter now? What are we doing here? And then, so I'm thinking of someone like Levi. Like, what is Levi's... a good life to Levi? What does that even mean?
I got a bad feeling Levi's not going to make it.
Hey, did Catherine ask you if she thought they were going to... Well, someone actually did ask that later on, so I'll allow that.
So is that who you're saying is your favorite character, Levi?
I'm just worried about Mikasa and Levi. I'm worried about everyone because I don't know what life outside of this war even looks like. Do you think they would want to stay on the island but expand, or are they still going to live in inside these walls? I don't know.
And Flotch, like, what's going to happen with him?
Yeah, Flock I haven't thought a lot about, but he'll probably just be on the lookout for the next devil to follow.
But that's what I'll put there. Hanji, I think she will die. I don't know if they'll have a next commander or what, or if she just goes out at the very end. Like, but I love Hanji. I just want her to be happy when she dies.
To put a more concrete answer on it, I'll go with like a Levi Mikasa tag team where Mikasa's going to lose the two people most important to her. Levi already lost the two most important people to him and Erwin. And being Ackermans, it's nothing romantic, but they can just, stay together. The Ackermans stick together, and I feel like they got the same kind of personality. And
they end up marrying each other.
What did I just say, Chad? Jesus Christ, this guy.
I'm just adding on. I don't know, man. This here's where we're at in the story. It could go anywhere. That's why I have no clue what's going to happen. Like, what do you even think could possibly happen to our favorite characters besides a horrible, gruesome death?
Well, I just told you. That's the last of the questions. Let us know about all the stuff we talked about. Email us, send it in the Discord. Let us know what you guys think. We're at where we're at. We had learn a little something about Ronny and Chad in the form of your list. Would you like to do it now, or would you like to save it for another time?
The form of my list. What was my list?
Your to-do list.
My to-do list. Where are we at right now?
probably like an hour 40.
You know what? We'll save that for the next one, since we went through our character list this one.
All right. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Ronnie was just going to flow with the list, but then Chad said no.
You know what? All right, let's do it right now. Let's fucking do it, you bitch.
No, do you want to or not?
Yes, I want to do it. I also want to punch you in your stupid mouth.
All right, we talked him into it. Ladies and gents, a little more content. Hope you're still listening. Probably not. So here's the thing about Chad. He is the absolute worst of telling me how much stuff he's going to do, how much stuff he's going to accomplish, and then never do it. So this is something not related to our podcast at all. This is just a peek behind the curtains of Ronnie and Chad's day-to-day life. I've started making a list of everything that he's told me he's going to do that I don't think he's going to do.
Which is creepy. He just makes lists about me all the time. And
yeah, he's fair game because I say, do you want me to add this to the list? Which is to say, you think you're going to do it, I don't. Do you want me to put it on the list? And he says yes. So, with that being said, as of October 1st of 2020, here is the list that we've started. It's pretty lengthy. Strap it on. Number 1, beat Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think he's about 3% of the way in that game. There's no way he will ever do that.
I'm getting as soon as I get my Switch hooked back up.
Beat the latest Pokemon Sword game.
I'm close. I've got 7 badges. I'm very close.
Ronnie has beat it. He's had 7 badges since October 1st. This one is one of my favorites. Because we have the Sword version, you can only have some Pokemon in Shield version because Pokemon's got us all by the balls trying to buy all the games. He wants to get Squirtle and Ponyta from Travis. Which would mean him and Travis would have to coordinate him drive over to where Travis is so they can trade Squirtle and Ponyta. Not happening.
It's still happening.
This one goes back even further than October 1st. He's been telling me 3 years, every time October rolls around, that he's going to watch Halloween Town or Hocus Pocus. And for the past 3 years, he has not watched either.
No, I have.
No,
Hocus Pocus, I did watch a decent amount of it with my little 5-year-old cousin.
Amount of it.
He got scared. Not saying I got scared. I said he got scared, and we stopped watching it. And maybe I got scared too. But we did. We got about halfway through, and there is some scary parts in it.
You have not completed those. Moving on. Beat Mario Sunshine. A lot of Nintendo Switch games that I don't think you're beating.
I got 10 Sunshines. Stars, whatever it is.
Which is not a lot for anyone who hasn't played that game. Then he wants to level out his truck. He's got a truck that he's been telling me he's going to raise it or lower it for about another 3 years. But
not that long. I've had it for a year and a half. I've told you for maybe half a year to 2 years.
When you got the truck, you said, yeah, I think eventually I'll lower Has not done it. At one point, someone scratched up his truck.
Yeah, whoever that was. I know you're listening to this because you're a stalker of mine. Fuck you.
And he took a long time to get the scratch removed, but we finally come across the first thing on the list that Chad actually did. He got the scratch removed.
Let's go.
Next, get tires for his truck. Nope, hasn't done it.
But I realized, I kind of need to wear these ones down before I get new ones, so.
Beat Super Mario Bros.
Dude, I'm so close on that one. I'm so close.
Ladies and gentlemen, have we found something out about Chad? This man can't finish to save his life.
That's what every lady's ever said about me. Never
beat Mario 64. Hasn't done it. I'll go on a list here because it's a couple.
Okay.
Beat Mario Galaxy. Hasn't done it. Beat Dragon Ball. What is the
Kakarot?
Game? Kakarot.
You wouldn't know it. You're not a true anime fan.
Hasn't done it.
Came close.
This one was a real annoying. This one shouldn't even be on the list because it's so easy, and technically I kind of did it for him. Put up disc plates.
Let's go, baby. Looks great in there. I got my Levi Ackerman up in my room.
He didn't put his disc plates up until I came over to his apartment. He said, so how do we do this? And we walked.
Well, penthouse.
We were 2 men together putting up a disc plate, which all it involves is peeling off the sticker of a magnet, putting it on the wall, and then putting the disc plate onto the magnet.
I put multiple more on.
Moving on to October 30th. He wanted to read the Season 3 Attack on Titan manga. He even bothered some of our listeners by asking him how he could do that. Still has not done it.
I'm waiting for the story to end.
Next, read Part 6 of the JoJo Bizarre Adventures manga.
I'm halfway through it. I'm close.
Still hasn't done it.
Jolene is one hot bitch.
November 17th, get a tattoo.
I have not done that one, I will admit to that, but I've come close.
No. Looking at Instagram pages of wolves tattooed on someone's body does not justify you saying you've came close. November 25th.
I've came close to pleasing a woman before.
Get a PS5 or Xbox Series X.
All right, well, this one doesn't count.
To be fair, it's been kind of challenging, but you also have told me multiple times that you could do it, and I just wasn't trying hard enough.
Well, you weren't.
And you still haven't done it. The same day, I tried to talk him into getting a buzz cut. He did it, so credit to him.
Buzz cut.
He got a buzz cut.
Looked great.
Yeah, I'm the beholder. Now, okay, I'm going to skip this one and come back to it because it's my favorite. January 7th, we got into a discussion with a coworker about an air fryer. They sound great. I want to get one. You can add this to Ronnie's list, buy an air fryer.
You can
You
come and borrow
surprising.
mine.
This shocked the hell out of me. This guy bought a $70 air fryer on Walmart while we were talking about it.
Yep.
And then went to an Aldi's, which is a weird store that you've got to like put in coins to use. It's a crazy place. I'm scared of it. To get a certain type of chicken and make it in the air fryer, he did that. Good for you.
I did. It's fucking beautiful sandwiches.
And the last one, this is my favorite. He wants to take a typing class. Which would never happen.
No, I mean, it could happen. It really could.
Never gonna.
It's probably going to here soon.
There's never any time where you're going to be sitting alone and go, you know what? I'm going to finally sign up for that typing class. That is the list. Let me do a final count on all this. We got...
No, there's one more that I checked off this weekend, Ronnie, and you better mention it.
Which one?
Say it right now.
22 things. I'm looking at it. Which one?
The one that I checked off this weekend.
Oh, and he finally... Okay. This one was another long one. This was from back in October 1st. Got caught up in it. He's got a friend's dad who he's told me, Chad's told me no less than 10 times that this weekend I'm going to buy that gun. Never did it, and then he finally did it this weekend.
Well, it wasn't. It was a case of...
And it's not even getting checked off because on the list it says buy it. You haven't bought it. You're
have
borrowing
bought
it. You've sent money.
I have sent money to him. Venmo, well, not yet, but... Hey, you let me shoot it yesterday. I shot it. I enjoyed it. And I said, I'm buying it. He said, cool. Bring me the money whenever.
I will check it off when the transaction has been complete.
Beautiful 9mm Springfield pistol.
As of right now,
I'm warding off all the ladies that keep coming to that found out my location from this.
So
podcast.
as of right now, I'll give you a half point for that gun thing. You have not.
That's a full point.
No, you have not complete. It says buy gun. You have not bought it.
Yes, I have.
You just have it. 4.5 out of 22 items has he completed.
5 out of 20. Give me the 5.
No,
just give
4.5.
me the 5.
We'll let the Discord decide. 4.5 out of 22. Just terrible. You are the worst. You suck. God, dude, with that being said, this podcast has gone on too long. If you're still listening, we just cherish you so much.
This is one of our worst ones.
This is definitely our worst podcast ever. We just cherish the hell out of you. And we hope that you'll subscribe to us.
Please do.
We hope that you'll follow us on Twitter at Podcast Chronicles.
And
Discord.
If this is for the guy on YouTube that said our channel was not real.
Yeah, that guy, he's like, well, it's just called the Podcast Chronicles. Pretty sketchy that it's just uploading your videos. Listen, buddy, I love you to death. As I've discussed before, we are a below average podcast known as like, I'm going to jip their shit and get 200 views.
I know. And below average attractiveness. We're below average everything. Also, if anybody wants to mention in the Discord real quick about my awesome, straight out of the horse's mouth take, please just talk about how I caught that metaphor with ease.
And he's still just sinking into this mud. Thank you again. We'll talk with you next time. thepodcastchronicles@gmail.com if you want to shoot us an email. Love you.
Podcast Chronic
Peace.
Twitter.
Talk with you next week.
And yes, please.